Hello, I'm Yana. I'm an instrumentalist and composer based in Gdańsk, Poland. I'm a classically trained violinist. I went to music school. I started learning the violin when I was 8, but my first instrument was the piano. My dad used to teach me playing the piano when I was 5 and 6. After the music school, I went to music academy also for the violin. And during the studies, I decided to make my own music. I guess my classical background has a huge influence on my music. I have a craft and some kind of abilities to make music the way I make it. So I know how to play the violin, I know how to play the piano, though I'm not a pianist, but still my education strongly influences my music and giving me opportunities to giving me knowledge how to do it. And what kind of sources do I need to make the music I want to make. I think also when it comes to seeing the world and creating the music, my childhood has a great impact because there was always music at my home. There were always instruments everywhere, and we listened to a lot of music. I also grew up in a small village, so I had a lot of nature around me, and I guess when you live in such a surrounding, you use your imagination a lot, and when you mix it up with some instruments and books that surround you, it gives you a lot of this specific kind of sensitivity you can use in your future works. My biggest influences, there are many of them. I think classical music as one thing for sure, but also I think I've been listening to a lot of music through all my life. I'm not close for in different genres, so I had this kind of stages, The longest one was classical music, then it was jazz, some kind of indie music, hip hop, electronic music. So and there are big names in it, of course, so there's many of them, The Archive, Radiohead and Tom York, I don't know, Bach, of course, and modern composers like film composers, but also new classical composers. Brad Meldow, my favorite jazz pianist. Yeah, a lot of music and musicians, for sure. Right now, I'm mostly focused on making my second long play album. I'm so much into process of composing music, producing music, recording. So this is my main field of work right now. Being a musician has a lot of big challenges. I mean, I think two biggest challenges are mixing up your when you cannot live from music. The biggest challenge is to somehow find a way to mix up your musical world with this quote ordinary one. I mean, earning money and stuff. A lot of musicians struggle with this kind of issue. And the second biggest challenge in our times is it is not enough to be a good musician, like good performer, good instrumentalist, composer. It's not enough because we live in times of the internet, and the internet is a huge bag of many things, and it is really pretty easy to get lost in this bag. So you need to not only play music like excellent, but have some kind of vision for it, like also visual one. When it comes to your image, your artworks, videos and stuff, it's not like the music is enough. You also need to be your own manager and booker very often, and PR person, because not everyone can afford like having a team of people caring about your interests. So I guess this is really a huge thing to cope with. I don't know if I have any advice to my younger self. I mean, I try to not regret things in my life, but it happens quite often to me. But I think, I don't have any advice. Maybe I could have been more. I could have more courage, I guess, in some moments of my life. I think being a musician and performing takes a lot of courage, and I'm still learning, even though I'm a musician almost my whole life. I got used to as a classical musician, I recorded a lot of albums with orchestras and small like quartets, and this kind of recording were always perfect. I mean, when it comes to the way and meanings of recording, they needed to be perfect, because classical music is about perfection and perfectionism, and when it comes to music, this kind of music I make right now, it's like I look for some kind of intimacy. So when I record the piano, for example, I want to hear in the recording, I want to hear not only the sound of the music, but also the sound of the instrument itself, and the wood, some cracking, and this kind of stuff. Sound of the hammers, strings, because I think it gives this music some kind of humanity. I mean, the listener can relate to this music, can feel like he's being next to the player, so he can relate more to this music. So I guess it's a bit unconventional, but still not so much, because it became quite popular in this genre. So yeah, it is and it isn't unconventional at the same time. I usually start making a song with the piano or my synthesizer or maybe violin, some kind of idea like the harmony or some melodic motif, and then like expand it to some other layers, adding layers and producing it, adding more stuff and following this idea. And when the song is done, when the album is done, I try to bring it live, but also during the process, especially with this second album I'm making right now. I think a lot while producing about feature performances, so I try to make it as much performable as it's possible. Of course, I try to when I'm preparing for a concert, I try to mix up the songs I've made in a way it's a bit surprising for listeners, like adding some improvisation or this kind of stuff. But I'm still learning, because playing live is completely different thing than making music in the studio. One of the singles from my first album, Solace, was a song called June, and there is a beautiful video for it made on Fuerteventura Island, and there is a story behind this song, because it was June, it was a summer evening, and I felt a bit nostalgic. Summer always makes me feel nostalgic, and I sat behind the piano and started to improvise a bit, and this song just came to me, and it felt like really nostalgic, and I felt this kind of longing when you miss something you cannot name, but still you miss it, and you don't know what it is actually, and you want to be there but don't know where exactly. So when I talked to the director of the video about the story behind this song, she exactly felt this kind of atmosphere and put it into this image. And in the end, when it was released, I wrote on Instagram that it's about this kind of longing, unnamed longing, and it appeared that so many people referred to it. I've received so many messages from people from different parts of the world, and they were all like, I know the feeling, I feel like it's exactly the same very often, and thank you for this video and for this music. And it was really touching and really rewarding for me, because this is what my artists made for, right? For making other people feel something. I hope everyone can find something in my music, because there are some songs with this kind of specific melancholia I like, and the other ones are more full of life and energy, like those with electronics. And I guess it's this kind of duality in me, but I think people can relate to it and they can find some kind of relief and solace in this music. I hope it brings them to some kind of nice place in their heads whenever they are happy and they listen to it. I hope they found this kind of comfort when listening to this music. I have two concerts ahead. One of them is on April 1st in Berlin. It's an event created by my friend Sophie Paes, and it's a part of Piano Day celebration, and it's free admission, so I invite everyone to come. It will be in Catalyst Institute in Funkhaus. And the second concert is in Gdańsk, Poland, on April 14th on CU Music Showcase Festival. I'm playing there with my string quartet. So there are two different events, different setup, and I'm really excited for it and can't wait to see some of you somewhere. Thank you so much for this interview and for inviting me. Thank you.